that fought, you know, without making, like I said, near the kind of money that they made here. And I understand the times and all of that's relative. I get all that. But I just thought that I want to stand up for the memory of those fighters. That's all. And I just don't want people to forget that and diminish that. That's why I got upset. I'm not upset. I think it's good for the sport, and I applaud the fight because it helps the sport. Because it regenerates the sport, it rejuvenates the sport, it brings attention to the sport, and that's a positive. And that's good. And everyone hopefully can thrive from that. Everyone can benefit from that. But here's my point. If you go back to the 80s, and you had Ron Lyle and George Foreman fighting, and both guys were on the floor, that people called that the elevator fight. Was that the greatest fight of all time? Was everyone with the commentators jumping out of their chair? Oh my God, that's the greatest fight of all time. No, back in the 80s when that happened, nobody was saying that. Why were they not saying that? Because there were a lot of great fights. Because it was normal territory to have a good fight. It was normal work in the ring to have a good heavyweight fight, because there were a lot of good heavyweights, because the bar was higher. So nobody was going calyptic. Nobody was losing their minds saying the greatest fight of all time. And see, I try to pick things that you can point at that have relevance to it, that not just an opinion, but, you know, back it up with something. And I'm backing it up with that. If nobody was going crazy saying that fight, and same thing. And then the big difference, not one of those guys was 41. So both guys were on the floor, right? And nobody was calling it the greatest fight of all time. So why should we be calling this fight the greatest? Again, I know why. Because everybody's going crazy because they don't think much of the heavyweight division. So when something good happens, and it was good, it was a real good fight. But when something good happens, they're making it like it's the new coming. Like oh my God, oh jeez, you know, Lazarus came back. Yeah, you know, and it wasn't quite that. It was terrific. But greatest of all time? I mean, really?
You think fans maybe just be like comparing it to like a Tyson Fury versus
Listen, I think the bar was low. I think that they had gotten a bad diet that got their stomachs upset of such poor fights, such mundane fights, such lackluster fights, such unfight-like fights of the heavyweight division, that when they got this, they went crazy. And I think there's another part to it too. We're human. We are funny creatures as humans. And sometimes we want to attach ourselves to a moment that's great. We want to say, we were there. We were there when the greatest fight of all time took place. We were there. I was there. And we're human. And we want to put our best foot forward. And if we make it the greatest fight, we were part of that. And I think that's part of it too.
My last question: Wilder, Joshua.